No, 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 no. I enjoy hearing the white noise behind you because
You
it
do, John.
means that we're
You
getting the
do.
full audio spectrum of your environment today.
Which is a feature we've had for quite a while in Zoom that I didn't know about until your particular ear brought it up, which is the original sound for musicians. How many
Yes,
people?
yes.
How many people do you think know this?
Well, if you go back to a very dated video that I did with one Mr. Tony Harris, probably 3 years ago. Some of you have been with us as long
If
as
ever
that.
you need original sound for musicians, if you have not met the wonderful, the effervescent Tony Harris in person, that man's voice, I want to record him giving a demo of Zoom Phone just to play to babies when they're crying. It's
You know what we
just
need? Here's what we need,
baritone.
my friend.
Oh, yes.
Watch this. We're going to pitch right from here to the voice of Tony Harris.
This is Between Two Phones.
Tony did a very good video he used a hair dryer, which if anyone knows Tony Harris, Tony doesn't have much up here, but he still used a hair dryer in his example to show how well original sound for musicians off and on actually works. The point being that there's a lot of noise suppression that Zoom
Yes.
encounters and enhances a typical Zoom call. But when we're podcasting like this, I always have asked you to turn original sound for musicians on, meaning that noise suppression is disabled, which gives us a more rich sound.
It
But if there's a
does.
dog barking, or if there's a fan on behind you, or if you just have environmental factors, you're going to get that. But hey, this is the raw and unfiltered version of Eric Truex
All uncut on
and John
stage
Nelms. Yep, and
between two
that's
phones.
right. You get the full unfiltered version. So, hey, here's something else that we got this last week, and that is Zoom 6.0, a new client interface. Zoom Workspace, Workplace.
Workplace. We've had workspaces for a while,
We
John. We now
have,
have
and the
workplace.
reason I said workspace for a moment, just for a moment, is because I was actually playing with this new feature in the client because we include it now as a tab at the top for
Yes,
workspaces.
workspace reservation got a bump. It
I
got
love this.
promoted. It used to be in the apps, except for on the mobile client, and now it's top billing, baby.
It's nice that it's up there. You get two things when you go to it. If you go to Workspaces up in your new Zoom Workplace client, not a tongue twister at all, then you get Workspace reservation as well as visitor management there. If those two items are enabled on your account, then you will get to see those there. And these are great tools to
Phenomenal.
use within Zoom Workplace.
There is another feature that just got added for workspace reservation
Yes.
that's really fun called Wayfinder.
Yes.
So, in the map that you upload as part of this, you actually put waypoints in there. So when somebody goes to reserve, they can get directions from either the entrance or other points to where they want to go and sit. So for complex office environments, it draws a nice little blue line right on the screen that they're reserving for. Excellent tool. You can also use Wayfinder on kiosks when you walk into an office. Like if you're going to reserve there, but let's say you already reserved, you were studious and reserved your room weeks in advance. Well, now you want to know where to sit, and it's a good size office. You can go up to a kiosk and point to the desk you want to go to, it, and it will draw you a map on how to get there.
I love this feature. I don't get into the office very often, but I love it from a partner perspective. And do you know why, Eric?
It's got to be about the value we're adding to
Exactly.
everyday
Because so
lives.
many people only think of Zoom for meetings and collaboration. But we're so much more than that, especially when you look at Zoom Workplace and Workspaces and what
Yes.
we've included now in Workspace Reservation. A really cool feature that gives us a lot more flexibility to sell into any type of customer account and get your foot in the door, right? Continue to grow that Zoom ecosystem and grow how you can impact a customer's productivity.
It's an
In
easy land
workplace,
and expand from there because not a lot of people are doing that. And I'm not aware of any major UCAS provider that has that as their native inside their native offering. Some of them allow integration, right? You can, oh, it'll integrate into our calendaring system or things like that. But very few of them actually integrate it into
Yeah.
their product as a native solution.
Yeah. So Workplace 6.0, the new client. A lot of people are seeing this now. If you've upgraded your client, then you notice that it's got new simplified navigation, and it makes it a lot easier to organize and find the tabs that you use most often. I know for me, I have my set of tabs that I've customized, the ones that I use the most. They are all the way over on the left for me so that I'm able to use those very
I have a
frequently.
question.
Yep.
Quick poll between me and you and anybody that wants to jump in the comments. What is your tab list starting left to right? I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. I wonder how similar they are.
Yeah, I've got.
So
I've
I'll
got.
go first. I put it out there, so I'll go first.
All right.
So and I'm gonna look over at my client. I start with home, team chat, mail, calendar, phone, work, Vivo, huddle, scheduler, clips, notes, whiteboard, workspaces, and then the final one, whiteboard, workspaces, docs, apps, revenue accelerator, and finally, because I don't have a need for it, is contacts.
Yeah,
I
me too.
never use
Mine's
my
at the end
contacts
too.
tab. I
But
manage my contacts through my team chat.
here's what I just heard from you: is you have a wider monitor than I do.
Well, so an important distinction about that, it adjusts to fit, right, which is a cool feature.
Yep.
But if you are on like a laptop, when I was on my laptop in Denver last week, it crunched it down where my scheduler clips and notes went down to the ellipse. You drop the ellipse and you can see the
Yeah.
rest of the information.
And that's what
So,
I see. I see the ellipses. But so mine is
well,
very
well, wait a
similar.
minute. What's your first five then?
Yeah, mine is home, calendar, team chat, clips, notes, mail, work Vivo, workspaces,
You put calendar in
whiteboards,
front of team chat.
phone.
Wow, calendar. Home. Everybody starts with home, which I like.
I didn't start with phone.
Home.
Home. I just said phone.
Yeah.
No, I start with home. Yeah,
Home
I
to calendar.
calendar is like the basis of my day. Even though I have the sidebar of stuff, I still like to have my calendar just right there. And I don't know that that's the order in which I use them. I just say that that is how I have them organized.
Huh. So
There's
for our
the
our
cool thing is
watchers,
here. The cool thing is here. There's no right or wrong answer.
no, and we allow you to drag and drop and keep that where however you want. It's an interesting tell on if you take the time to organize those, what's important to you. A lot of people, especially our partners that are forward facing out into their customer world, mail is still a primary interface because
Yeah.
not all of their customers are going to be using Zoom yet. So, in the meantime, they're looking at mail as a primary interface, and their calendar is obviously going to be a big deal on that. Whereas internally, because I communicate with so many people who already use Zoom, team chat is my first and foremost.
Dude, you know what I'm really digging lately is Zoom clips.
Yeah, it
Like
is cool.
I am I am I am using this for everything. I use
It
it to
is.
send just even personal videos. Like
It's
you
an
can
easy
take it.
button.
It is an easy button. Like you can record. I just press record. I get a link. I send it. It is that
Yep.
easy. And then I have analytics of who actually watched it, so I know how many people are looking at the videos that I
You don't
am.
have to authenticate to a third person. You want to know the thing, John? Do you want to know the feature about it that's the best? It's the very bestest. It's the bestest of the bestesses. You ready? No ads.
Yeah, there's no ads on
Ads.
it. That
There's
is
a
very.
50-50 shot that there's been a stupid ad playing in this video right now. There's no ads and clips.
Well,
There's no
yeah.
ads.
Don't give anybody any ideas. So let's keep that to a minimum.
Monetize it, baby. Upgrades, people.
So the tabs across the top are great for new navigation. Hey, did you change your color scheme and color theme at all?
I did. I went with the it's like a royal blue, I think. I'm not great with colors, but it's the darker blue, but I wouldn't call it quite a dark blue. It's a little bit lighter than the shirt I'm wearing. But I went with the blue
I
color scheme.
I have taken the approach for dark mode, which means I do not have options for color themes yet.
I turned off dark mode, and it was I I go back and forth between dark mode and not dark mode. One feature request I would love to see us implement is situational dark mode. So if I'm on my laptop, if I take my laptop out and I'm like, which chances are if I take my laptop out, I'm sitting on a couch, maybe I'm sitting outside, I'm in a public place, my lighting is not as controlled as here in my desk, right? I would like dark mode for that. However, in this environment where my lighting is controlled, I know exactly what's going on, I like the contrast that I have with light mode.
Yeah, it does. So I still get the contrast in whiteboard with dark mode on. So
Yep.
I
And
don't
there's
know.
actually a
It's
couple of areas where our apps still utilize, they are not fully integrated to present dark mode at the client.
right.
Contact Center is one, they're actually fixing that. I should say fixing that. They're enhancing that. It's an
Yeah.
enhancement. These are features, people. Features.
That's right. So AI Companion, a big portion of this change on 6.0. We've talked about it in our last little session that you and I did, the top 10 for AI Companion. So I won't continue dwelling on that. But
We have a contender. We have a young upstart feature. He's in the corner. He's ducking and weaving. He knows he's good, but he's got to prove himself. Do you know what it is? Virtual background generator, baby. He's coming in hot. Oh, what a neat feature. Almost useless for monetary reasons.
I mean, generative
it's such-
AI and creating the backgrounds that just what you're looking for is now available within
Yes. On the fly.
6.0. Yeah, it is. It is
Super
right
cool
there for you.
feature. And this is one of those features, John. It reminds me of our motto, which is delivering happiness.
Yep.
And
It is.
this
It
is
is one of those features.
this is not going to close a deal. But you know what it might
It's-
do? It might make that user a little happier.
It's the extra polish that really
Yes.
makes it go the extra mile for a lot of folks, and it's one of those
Don't
things that
don't discount the value of joy. And to have a little bit more joy in your workday, where honestly we could all use a little bit more of it, but to have that there, you're like, oh, this is really neat. I can do this on the fly, and I can have a little bit of fun with it, a little bit of individuality that allows me to express something myself because I give it the prompts. I tell it what I want. I get to choose whether I use it. So yeah, it's a cool feature that I could see being a lock, stock, barrel feature going forward.
and misused all the time, I'm sure. But
Well, so funny enough, I tried to do one. What was the prompt? Tavern on Fire. So, in case we don't know, I host a couple of D&D games a week, and I use Zoom, right? So it
for those
was
that do not know, D&D, let's not use acronyms.
Dungeons and Dragons.
There
I
you go.
pretend to be a wizard of,
Okay,
of
there you
the
go.
Forgotten Realms.
Eric's secret after work parties.
Total geek. Total nerd alert right here. So an interesting thing about it is I tried to tell it to present a tavern on fire. Okay, this was because it was a scene. By the way, another cool feature of this, I can change this quickly based on what's going on. So I tried to do a tavern on fire. It actually said, "Hey, you're violating our guidelines." The fire portion, the AI created the image, but Zoom quickly filtered. It was like, no, no good. I appreciate that. Now, yeah, you can go out there and find things that let you do whatever. Zoom's got your back, though. By the way, I was able to modify my search and get an excellent background in seconds. Seconds. I didn't have to open a new web page. I didn't have to do a different search. I didn't have to log into other tools. I was able to do it right there. Bam, seconds. Love it.
And on that note, let's go to a little conversation that you and I had in New Orleans just not long ago. You know, they say some of the buildings in New Orleans
are haunted.
are haunted. And when I see some of these old buildings and the gas lamps outside them, or maybe the ones that are more cryptic looking, like those up there.
There's things in our world that just won't die. There's technologies that just refuse to pass on,
Yeah.
like fax machines.
Fax machines are still here.
Oh, we
It's
hate faxes so much.
2024, and we still use the F word.
Like a ghoul that refuses to finally just be gone and done with because PDF is better. We do still support faxes at Zoom.
It's T38.
It sends a cold chill through me.
It really does.
I see rolls of skinny paper.
Can you even buy that anymore? Those
I don't know.
Like those types of fax machines? I have to assume that what are the industries that are keeping this alive?
Lawyers is the only ones I can think of.
I don't know. I think medical still uses it. Somehow it's HIPAA compliant. I don't know. How is that possible?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Faxing is one of them. What else we got?
So paging systems, but they actually still have some use.
Analog paging systems.
Yeah,
with
those
zones,
old
maybe.
calling doctor.
Bullhorn, like the bullhorns.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Now
something.
schools still use those, and that there's some use cases, but they are on their way out with SMS texting and with team chat. Being able to replace that stuff, we don't need to do paging. There's a better way to communicate to a group of people other than announcing it loudly over a big, huge speaker.
Yeah, you would think. Do you still think that there's a legitimate need for... Do you remember when we had phones back in the 80s and 90s that had those antennas that retracted?
Oh, yes. The
49 megahertz, 900 megahertz
yes.
phones.
What about walkie-talkies?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that one may already be killed off. I don't know.
It's not.
Is Nextel...
Zoom just released the walkie-talkie feature.
Really?
It refuses to die. It's still living on, and there's certain industries that have a use case for that, but it's hanging on by a thread, baby.
And there you go, folks. Haunted tech in haunted New Orleans.